Welcome back to Huffy Chase Farm. This episode is going to be all about the chickens and their performance so far through week 2. We're going to get new weights on the chickens, and we're going to dive into a little bit of data around feed consumption. I hope you enjoyed the video. As a reminder, at the 1 week weigh-in, the average weight of the chicks was 3.27 ounces. The heaviest was 3.7 ounces, and the lightest, which was really an outlier, 1.9 ounces. Here's what the chicks are looking like. You can see, if you can see it, they are developing a tone. These are all males. They're also starting to get their feathers, particularly on their wings. They will be reddish colored for sure, and you can see the red starting to come out in them. All right, here's the first chick. My bowl is almost not big enough. 8.6 ounces. Oh wow, that's I think pretty good growth. Second chick, 8.8 ounces. Third chick, he wants to jump out of there, I can tell it. 8.6 ounces. I did want to show you the difference in 2 chicks. The one on the left, if they'll stay that way, is one of the heavier ones. And the one on the right was a lighter chick, almost the lightest. Definitely tell a difference. The one on the left was around 9 ounces. The one on the right was around 6 ounces. Again, you can tell the feathers, a lot more maturity here. Thank you for the gift on my work table. And less maturity, less feather development so far, and definitely less size. The other change I'm going to make this week, given the size that these chickens are, I'm going to change out their waterers and their feeders, and I'm now going with bigger sizes. Here's what I've had in there. I've had these along with another one I'll show you. But what you can see here is they're getting filled with pine shavings. And they're starting to scratch, fill them up with pine shavings, and then they scratch through there or dig through it and eat the feed. Kind of the same with the waterers. The waterers are 1 gallon waterers. They work really great for that first, I would say, week and a half. They're to the point they're drinking about 6 gallons of water a day. So I'm filling these 3 times. What I'm going to switch to, from a water perspective, I'm going to these much larger. These are about 4 gallon, maybe even pushing 5 gallon, but I think they're about 4.5 gallon waterers. They actually fit just perfectly inside the brooder. The other change that I've made is to my feeders. You'll notice I do have a pipe that runs to the length of the brooder. Earlier this week, I started hanging these, and that has helped tremendously with the shavings getting into it. You can see these little guys are eating. They actually ran out of food some point overnight, so they are really eating. I'm going to have to get 2 more of these, I believe, as there's not enough feed space for them just to have those. I had a red light, and I'd heard that the chickens tend to like it better. I had 3 normal white lights. Early on, I didn't really notice the difference. My red light was on that side of the brooder, and I will tell you, the chicks spend much more time on that side. That waterer and that feeder on that end is always empty before this one. So I did add a red light on this end. Now I have 2 white lights and 2 red lights. That's another thing I've learned, I think it is. true. We're in my office. I thought it would be easier to put all the data that I accumulated on the weights into the computer, and then I'd show you also a little bit about the feed consumption and what the other data is telling me at this point. Okay, here's the spreadsheet that I've been using, or that I've put together, that I'm going to track the data. Here are my 15 chicks. This is week 1. These are the week 2 amounts. During the video, I was measuring and talking about ounces. In this spreadsheet, I have converted it into pounds. And what you'll see is, here's my average. My average for the 15 chicks I weighed was a half a pound. That compares to 0.2 pounds a week ago. So I have more than doubled. The median was 0.54. The mean was just under 0.5 pounds, so 0.49 pounds. The biggest chick I weighed was 0.58 pounds, and the smallest was 0.37. You see that the mean and the median are well above 0.37 and closer or above my average. So there are the light chick and the few chicks that are lighter are definitely outliers. If we scroll up to the top of my little spreadsheet here, I'm on week 2. Here's the other thing I didn't mention. I started with 152 chicks, and I still have 152 chicks. I haven't lost a chick yet. My weekly feed consumption for this week was 93.6 pounds of feed. That compares to 20 pounds last week. Pounds per bird, so if you take the 93.6 divided by the 152, they're eating a little bit over half a pound per bird this past week. They've eaten just under 114 pounds so far, which is 3/4 of a pound per bird that they have eaten. The average live weight, as I showed you, was a half a pound. That was 0.29 pound increase, more than double in size week over week. This is a very important metric, especially when you're thinking about profit and loss with your chicks. This is weekly feed conversion per pound of weight. That is the amount of feed it takes to generate 1 pound of weight on a chicken. Right now, my feed conversion this past week over week, was 2.11 pounds. So it would have taken, or it did take, 2.11 pounds of feed to develop a chick by 1 pound. So to put on 1 pound of weight. For the total 2-week time period, my feed conversion has been 1.5 pounds of feed to 1 pound of weight gain. That's something we will really keep a close eye on as it relates to these Freedom Rangers. Remember, these are Freedom Ranger chicks. It will take them a bit longer than your traditional Cornish cross chicks to put on weight. So rather than, say, 7 or 8 weeks, it's going to take them around 10 weeks. Extremely happy with the fact that I still have 152 chicks. We'll continue to watch the data. If you have any questions or comments, definitely any comments that would help me to do better with these chicks, or ideas, improvements, tricks of the trade, definitely share them. If you have questions on how I'm growing these chicks out, or anything that I'm not covering in these videos, by all means ask, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for watching the Chubby Chase Farm channel. Appreciate all the support that I'm getting. If you haven't been to the website, www.chubbychasefarm.com, we do have the farm store up, and we've got all the vlogs posted and information on the various products that we have. I hope everyone has a great week.